Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 8 of my favorite 31 debut albums of all time. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, folks. We're firmly entrenched in the top 10 top debuts of all time. Doing it each and every day here this month in October. Here we are, pick number 8. On the 31st, I will reveal my number 1, as will all of you, right? So that's how it goes. Today, the debut of a great American band. This album was released August 13th, 1973. Produced at Studio One in Doraville, Georgia. Produced by Al Kooper for MCA Records. Were they working for MCA? Yes, they were at the time. Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's right. Debut album from one of Southern rock's finest bands of all time. A band in their infancy, and arguably the greatest time in the period of their history, right? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Of course, who is in the band? Ronnie Van Zant, lead and backing vocals. Gary Rosington, lead and rhythm guitars. Alan Collins, lead and rhythm guitars. Ed King, bass and a little bit of guitar. Of course, would move on from bass to become one of the 3 guitar players in the band shortly thereafter, right? Billy Powell on keyboards and Bob Burns on drums, along with a little extra help from Al Kooper, the producer, on some keyboards and things and backing vocals. Robert Nix does a little drums, Bobby Hall, a little percussion, Steve Katz, a little harmonica, right? What do we got on this album? Skynyrd classics. Of course, kicking off with I Ain't the One. You know, if you ever wondered what this whole kind of swamp rock sound is that we often talk about here on the channel when we're talking about Southern rock bands, I Ain't the One, is it? It's just got this gutsy, kind of raw, bluesy Southern thing, right? With the guitars and those vocals of Ronnie's, right? Those snarling vocals, I Ain't the One is just absolutely killer. What a great album opener. And, you know, right off the bat, you've got a fine example of the expert guitar interplay between Rosington and Collins. You know, one of the great guitar teams of all time, for sure. From there, we got the kind of soaring ballad Tuesday's Gone. Right? Love that mellotron in the background, played by Mr. Cooper. Yeah, Tuesday's Gone is just absolutely terrific. Give Me 3 Steps, you know, one of their great kind of shuffles, killer song. And then for me, probably, you know, along with I Ain't the One, probably my favorite song on the album, which is Simple Man, which is kind of, you know, moody and heavy and bluesy and ballady and just, yeah, it's like everything that Skynyrd does so well roll into one, man. That big heavy riffing, that mournful kind of, you know, vocal from Ronnie, just so good. Over on side 2, you got starts off with Things Going On, underrated track from them, good deep cut on the album. Then you have Mississippi Kid, all right, written by the band along with Al Kooper. Poison Whiskey, you got Ed King showing up on the writing credits on there along with Ronnie Van Zant. Poison Whiskey, loads of fun again, that kind of bluesy southern thing that just the band does so well. You got those 3 really cool deep tracks on side 2, and then of course the big, legendary, epic Freebird closes it all out. Freebird, of course, starts off with that great slide guitar, right? It's kind of mellow to begin with, kind of mournful, and then it starts to pick up the pace, and then boom, Alan Collins takes you through this rip-roaring acrobatic guitar solo that is, you know, one of the most legendary guitar solos of all time. And it has turned this song had become, with this album and for every show thereafter, the big closing number for the band every night, right? Where they're the big guitar cadenza to this day. Now we've got, of course, because Alan Collins and now, of course, Gary Rosington, of course, are gone. Ricky Medlock has been picking up the torch, and Ricky has actually taken the guitar solo on this song for quite a number of years now. And Ricky Medlock becomes the guy on this song, on this classic song, to end the concert, right, with this amazing guitar solo. So yeah, I mean, just an incredible debut album. The start of many incredible albums from this band, especially during this early part of their career before the fateful plane crash, the tragic plane crash, right? So charts, you know, this at the time didn't really set the world on fire, as far as, especially not outside of North America. It seems like the Skinner, for the most part, early on, were kind of like a sensation here in North America and Canada and the States. But that would start to change as the decade wore on, and certainly before the plane crash. I think before the plane crash, Skinner were starting to become much bigger in other parts of the world, and I think that that whole kind of concept of world domination for this band probably wasn't far off. And then unfortunately the plane crash happened, and that would kind of derail all that. But yeah, Canada made it to number 93 here in the States on the U.S. Billboard Top 200. It made it to number 27. Surprisingly enough, because this band did pretty good in the UK. This album went silver, 60,000 units sold. Here in the States, double platinum at 2 million copies sold. So pretty big seller here back home. And as far as singles released, Gimme 3 Steps was released November 5th, 1973, so a couple months after the album was released. And then Freebird later on that month, actually no, a year later, was released as a single in 1974, November of 1974. So it took a while. And Freebird never ever then came off the constant rotation play on FM rock radio, and to this day, right? You can always expect, there's certain Lynyrd Skynyrd songs you can always expect to hear on classic rock radio or FM rock radio, whether it's regular radio or satellite radio. You can always expect to hear, Gimme 3 Steps. You can always expect to hear Simple Man, Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, right? There's usually a handful of other, I Know a Little, right? There's a handful of songs that they will always play on rock radio, and it's just weird because this band has so many amazing deep cuts which are as good, if not better, than the hits, right? But the hits have lasted for decades, and people still love them, and people still want to hear them. So yeah, so that is my pick for today. Pick number 8, Lynyrd Skynyrd, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. Let us know what you think of this legendary debut down in the comments below. I know many of you have picked it already. I've been watching. I can't keep up with all the comments on these morning shows because we'll post a video, and within 24 hours it's got 5,000-6,000 views and almost 1,000 comments with people's picks, and it's you just can't read 1,000, 800 to 1,000 comments every single day. But I do usually give a glance over, especially earlier in the day when there aren't as many comments, and I see all your picks. Every now and then I'm like, ooh, that's a good one. That didn't quite make my list, and forgot to put it in my honorable mentions list. But and a lot of picks have coincided with mine, not necessarily on the same day, but we've got a lot of crossover, and yeah, there's the pack right there, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. Did I say visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org? We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. So thank you in advance for all your support there. It's always greatly appreciated. And we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I'm Pete Pardo. Coming up, we've got, since we missed last week, we're going to tape a couple episodes of the Monsters Den tonight, so we're going to get caught up. So you'll have an episode this week, and you will also have the Monsters Den next week, and a bonus episode. So we're doing 3 of them tonight, so stay tuned for that. They won't all air tonight. You'll get 1 tonight, and you'll probably get 2 next week, or maybe 2, I'll air 2 tonight and 1 next week in its regular slot. Something like that. We'll figure it out. But anyway, that's all coming up, and of course, Martin Popoff and I at the Funhouse tomorrow to finish up part 2 of our look at Ted Nugent. We're kind of doing this best and worst goofy songs, best and worst heavy songs. So we did Queen recently. We did part 1 of Nugent, part 2 of Nugent, the heavy songs coming up tomorrow. And then we're going to move on. We're going to do Blue Oyster Cult next because a lot of you have asked for, can you do this concept of Blue Oyster Cult? Yes, we're going to do that. So that's coming up next, starting next week. And we've got the Professor's Picks with Ken Golden coming up tomorrow as well. We have got the Review Crew, Jamie Laszlo and crew, of which I will be one of them this week. That's coming up on Saturday. We've got Ranking the Albums. Grant Arthur and I will be ranking the albums of the Yardbirds. We're doing the American releases, folks. So for all of our UK friends, we're going to be doing the UK albums. The US albums, which aren't all that different from the UK releases, right? Just kind of repackaged and retitled and stuff like that. So we'll be doing that on Sunday. Also, we'll have our next episode in this What Is It series we've been doing, along with Brendan Snyder, Grant Arthur, and Scott Lade from the Prog Corner. And we'll be talking about the Alan Parsons Project, What is the Allen Project, the Power Sins Project? What is it? What kind of music is it? What are they all about? We're going to be talking about it this weekend as well on Sunday. So all that coming. Stay tuned for all of it. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please remember, we also got the Sea of Tranquility memberships. You can look for the join button down below. And thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.